All right, everyone. In this video, I'm going to talk about intransitive phrasal verbs. I'll review what a phrasal verb is and what intransitive means, but I do recommend that you watch the video I made on introducing phrasal verbs and then all the other phrasal verb videos because this is a lot to take in. It's a lot of information. And phrasal verbs are very common, as you can see. I just used one. Okay, so phrasal verbs. Again, phrasal verbs are verbs. That means they are actions in this case. A phrasal verb is a 2 or 3 word verb with a verb on it at the beginning and a particle. Okay, so for example, turn off. Oops, what happened there? Turn off. Or I can say break down, okay, or turn around. So these are all examples of phrasal verbs because they have a verb at the beginning and then something that looks like a preposition but does not act like a preposition. So it's not a preposition, it's a particle, okay? But together they create a different word from those two parts. Turn is different from turn off. Off is different from turn off. So together, those two words create a brand new word, okay? So some phrasal verbs are transitive, meaning that they take an object after them, okay? So transitive just means that there is an object after the verb. And by object, I mean like a thing, a person, okay? So for example, turn off the light. Here, turn off is the phrasal verb and the light is the object. It is the thing, okay? This is an example of a transitive phrasal verb. Some verbs are intransitive and that means there is no object after the verb. There is no object, okay? And there's a lot of intransitive verbs and a lot of intransitive phrasal verbs in English just to make English really lovely, okay? So let me give you some examples of intransitive phrasal verbs over here, okay? And I will write them down. Break down is one. Grow up is one, and get through. All of these phrasal verbs are intransitive, and that means that they do not need any objects after them. Can they have words after them? Yes, the words just cannot be objects. And again, what I mean by an object is that it can be a noun, which is a person, place, thing, idea, right? Or an objects can also be pronouns, but they have to be object pronouns. So words like him, her, them, okay? So in other words, for intransitive verbs, you don't want these things after the verb. You cannot have them after the verb. Okay, so let me give you some examples of these words. Break down, grow up, and get through in action. Okay, so to break down means for something to stop working, usually like a machine or a car, right? So I can say, for example, oh gosh, today my computer suddenly just broke down. It just broke down and it stopped working. If you look at this sentence, you can see broke down, period. There's nothing after it. That's because this is intransitive. You don't need anything after it. The computer broke down. It didn't break down something, it broke down, okay? Now, because it is intransitive, I can't put something after it. Today my computer broke down the screen. Nope, I can't put anything after it, okay? And I also can't put objects. Today my computer broke it down. It doesn't make sense unless you're using a different meaning of that verb. which I'll talk about in another video. But here, breakdown means to stop working. And because it's intransitive, you can't put anything, or you can't put an object after it. Let's look at grow up. To grow up means to become an adult. So most people don't grow up until they are in their 20s or something, okay? Most people don't grow up until they're in their 20s, okay? They don't grow up. Here's the phrasal verb. Do you see an object after it, like a noun or a pronoun until? Nope. That is an adverb. That's a time word. Nope, not a pronoun, not an object. You have another clause here, which you're allowed to have, but what we don't have and what we don't want is any noun or pronoun here. We don't want that because it's intransitive. Last one, to get through. To get through means to finish something. So to get through means to finish. So I got through. So to get through can be transitive and intransitive. So this is not a good example of a transitive verb. Let me show you a different intransitive verb. To get by, that's a good one. To get by means to survive, right? A lot of people say things like, gosh, this semester is so hard. I just need to get by. I just need to survive, right? I just need to get by, period. Here, get by is a phrasal verb, no object after it. You can't put an object after it. You can't say, I need to get by this semester. Nope. You can't say, I need to get this semester by. Nope. And you can't really, we don't put anything between a phrasal verb when it's intransitive because there's no object anyway. So those are 3 examples. There's plenty more of intransitive phrasal verbs that you can learn about. There's also intransitive phrasal verb that can also be transitive. And I'm going to make a video on that. Lovely. Okay, so I hope that has helped you understand a little bit about this idea. And you can study this more if you want. I recommend that you study it more. But more than studying it, I think you just need to read or speak to people in English, because that is how you're really going to learn phrasal verbs. Okay, bye-bye.